What's up, everybody? This is Marco from Audio Lounge. I just want to go over a quick little tip that I have for those of us using Pro Tools and a very common issue that we all probably have dealt with in some way, shape, or form, and that is CPU overload. This obviously happens on systems that are a little bit less adequate and maybe can't handle as much processing power as some of the higher end computers that are out nowadays. Um, but I just wanted to go over something that I used for a long time. I had a really cheap little MacBook Air with only 8 gigs of RAM on it, and I ran so many sessions on that computer. And the way that I would get around the CPU overload, because if I've got a live kit and I have bass tracks and I have multiple guitars, and I'm not using a whole lot of MIDI or electronic instruments, which helps, but it's still a lot of tracks with a lot of processing going on. So by the time I get to maybe tracking vocals or even lead guitars, the sessions just get slower and slower and slower. So how did I combat that? Well, I'll show you. The first thing that I would do is I would assess every mix at the end of every session, at the end of every, editing session that I did. Anytime I did something to the mix or the song, I would always just double check, make sure that the levels were decent, and I would bounce it out as is. That's something I like to do for my clients. Whenever we're finished up with something, I like to give them an update so that they can take it home right away and listen to what we did that day. Now, say a song like this. I'm going to go ahead and actually delete these vocals in this song. You probably recognize this session from another video, possibly. Okay, so let's pretend that I'm getting ready to do a vocal session. I've got a singer coming over, and this song is in a pretty raw form right now. I did the mix prep video on this song, so you might have heard this or seen this session before. But let's say we have the drums how we want it and the bass and everything's sitting great. What I would do at this point is I take everything, and you can see I have markers in here. Normally I'd have a lot more than this going on, but I'll take my cursor and I'll highlight the entire song. And one of the reasons I like to have start and end points on every session is because then I know every single bounce is the exact same length, start to finish. So what I'll do is I'll just take that, and I'm actually just going to bounce this. And I usually call it test. I don't know why. Save it wherever it needs to go. So we've bounced the song down. And from here, what I like to do is I have my instrument mix bus here. That's something from the mix prep session. Maybe I have that in the draft. It's possible. It's happened before. But let's say everything's going to that bus. So I'm going to take that track all the way up to the very top. And I'm going to highlight and just make inactive. Now, the way I did that was I just clicked that one track, held the shift button on my keyboard, and just clicked this track. That's going to highlight everything in between those tracks. Now I'll take this click track, we'll pretend like we need it. And now that I have the entire song basically inactive, I'm going to take this click and pretend like I have a singer coming. And then from here, what I'll do is I'm going to pretend like this is now the top of my session. Like everything above actually does not matter. And I'm just going to go and import that bounce that we just did. And now, because I have my starting and end points, I can just go right in and just drag it right to that start. And now I just have 1-2 track, and I can go ahead and track all my vocals, and my latency is going to be way better. I can actually use things like auto-tune processing in real time. I can use much more complex reverbs and delays, things that take up a little bit more processing power than I would have been able to use had I kept everything active. Again, I had this really cheap laptop that I'd done so many sessions on, and it was an ongoing thing, so I had to figure out a way to work around it. Thankfully, I was able to, and I was able to make a lot of sessions happen this way. And this goes for everything, not just vocals. Even if it was just a drum kit, I would bounce down a 2-track of the drums so that anytime I'm doing anything, if I were to open up this session, realistically, there's only 4 plugins that are active right now. And this one is just for you guys to hear me. This wouldn't even be here right now. This would probably be more on, the actual record track. I would, make another recording track like that. And then you can just do all your tracking, blah, 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 send it off. And then when you're ready to mix, you can just go ahead and delete this. get rid of that, and then just highlight all your tracks again. And now you have all of the tracks from the song itself and all of what would have been, your vocals down here already lined up because it's not a new session or anything. So it's just an easy way to do it. Like I said, it works for everything. You just bounce down the last thing that you did so that you have the cleanest, least processing going on in your session. And then when you're ready to do your mixing or do anything when you're not actually recording somebody in the room, then you can re-enable all that processing because you don't need to worry about all of that latency. I hope that for, some of us Pro Tools users out there, this can help alleviate some stress and hopefully help your sessions run a little bit smoother. I know what it's like when you're trying to, make progress on a song and you're constantly getting that error code pop up saying CPU overload. It's just an annoying ongoing thing with Pro Tools. It doesn't make me like Pro Tools any less. I absolutely love this program. I'm sure there's going to be people that love to, talk crap about the program, but at the end of the day, it's what I like to use, and you can use whatever you like to use. This is just a tip that I'm throwing out there for people that are using this program and are struggling with this issue. And if you have questions about it, please just drop a comment below. Let me know, and I can help you as best as I possibly can. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more videos like this, click the thumbs up, leave a comment, let me know, and I will see you in the next video.